Close your eyes and imagine this. A cold April night, the mighty Titanic, a symbol of human ambition, is sinking into the depths of the Atlantic. Passengers are scrambling, crying, and praying for their lives. But amidst this chaos, one person makes a choice that defies all odds, a choice of sacrifice, courage, and kindness. This is their story. In this video, we'll unravel the haunting events that led to the Titanic's tragic end, the extraordinary story of a forgotten hero whose selflessness saved lives, a powerful lesson about courage and humanity that still resonates today. Stay tuned till the end, because this story isn't just about survival. It's about how even in the darkest times, acts of kindness shine brighter than fear. The Titanic sets sail. The year was 1912, and the Titanic, hailed as the unsinkable ship, was embarking on its maiden voyage. Among the 2,200 passengers on board was Mary Goldsmith, a humble schoolteacher with dreams of starting a new life in America. Mary was not rich. She had spent years saving for her third-class ticket. Her cabin was small and modest, but she was filled with excitement and hope for a brighter future. The lower decks were bustling with life, children laughing, families chatting, and passengers marveling at the luxury they rarely experienced. Mary quickly befriended a family traveling in the same section, the O'Connors. John and Margaret O'Connor, along with their 2 young children, had sold everything to chase the American dream. Mary adored their warmth and optimism, and she often spent her evenings with them, sharing stories and dreams for the future. But beneath the joy, Mary couldn't shake an unsettling feeling. Something about the vast ocean and the overconfidence of the crew made her uneasy. She would often stand by the railings at night, staring into the dark waters, feeling as though the sea held secrets no one was ready for. The night of the iceberg. It was the night of April 14th, 1912. The Titanic cruised under a clear, starry sky. Mary had just finished saying goodnight to the O'Connors and was heading to her cabin when she felt a faint jolt. At first, she thought it was nothing, just the ship adjusting to the waves. But soon, the murmur of concerned voices began spreading like wildfire through the corridors. Passengers in third class were confused, and the crew provided little information. Mary's heart raced as she joined the growing crowd heading toward the deck. When she reached the upper levels, her worst fears were confirmed. The Titanic had struck an iceberg, and water was flooding the lower compartments. Panic began to take hold as passengers realized the gravity of the situation. Despite the chaos, Mary's first thought was the O'Connor family. She rushed back to their cabin, finding them wide-eyed and terrified. "We need to get to the lifeboats," she urged, grabbing their coats. The scene on the deck was nothing short of a nightmare. Lifeboats were being lowered, but there weren't enough for everyone. Crew members shouted for women and children to board first, while men were pushed back. Mary held tightly to the O'Connors, guiding them through the panicked crowd. Little Emma O'Connor, just 6 years old, clung to Mary's hand, her small voice trembling. "Are we going to die?" Mary knelt down and looked Emma in the eyes. "No, sweetheart. You're going to be just fine," she promised, even though she wasn't sure herself. When their turn finally came to board a lifeboat, Margaret O'Connor froze. "I can't leave without John," she cried, clutching her husband's hand. The crew insisted, but Margaret refused to let go. That's when Mary stepped in. "Take my spot," she said firmly. Margaret looked at her in disbelief. "I'm not a mother," Mary continued. "Your children need you more than anyone else." The crew hesitated, but Mary's determination was unshakable. She helped Margaret and her children into the lifeboat, even as icy wind whipped her face. As the last lifeboat descended, Mary realized she was among the many left behind. The Titanic was sinking faster now, its stern rising high into the air. Screams filled the night as passengers clung to whatever they could. Mary managed to find a piece of floating debris and held on tightly, her fingers numb from the freezing water. Around her, the cries of others grew fainter, swallowed by the cold. She thought of her family back home, her dreams of teaching in America, and the O'Connors she had just saved. Hours passed. Mary's strength was fading, and the icy water felt like knives against her skin. But she refused to give up, clinging to the hope that rescue would come. Finally, as dawn broke, a light appeared on the horizon. It was the RMS Carpathia, responding to the Titanic's distress signals. Crew members pulled survivors from the water, and when they reached Mary, she was barely conscious. The aftermath. Mary woke up in a warm blanket aboard the Carpathia. She was alive, but the weight of what she had witnessed was overwhelming. Her first question was about the O'Connor family. When she learned they had survived and were safe, tears streamed down her face. In New York, Mary didn't let her trauma define her. Instead, she used her second chance at life to make a difference. She became a teacher for orphaned children, dedicating her life to helping those in need. Ending and lesson. Mary's story teaches us a profound lesson. True courage isn't just about surviving, it's about making choices that put others before ourselves. In the darkest moments of life, acts of kindness and selflessness are what truly define us. Mary's sacrifice saved a family and inspired countless others, proving that even in the face of unimaginable tragedy, the human spirit can shine brighter than fear. So, the next time you're faced with a difficult choice, remember Mary's bravery. It's not the size of our actions that matters, but the love and courage behind them. What would you have done in Mary's place? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this story inspiring, don't forget to share it with someone who needs a little hope today.